G'day guys, Seeney here, and welcome to another episode on the Australian Wealth channel. And in this video, we're going to be talking about why the housing market is not going to wait for you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps to get these videos out to more people. So in this video, we're going to be talking about why the property market is not going to wait for you. Because there's a lot of vectors which are going to lead to the increase of house prices even further. You know, we're seeing lower and lower rates of home ownership amongst younger people, which is a real shame. But there's a lot of things that you can do to actually improve your chances of getting a house. So we'll talk about that in a separate video. But in this video, I just really want to talk about why it is important to get on the property ladder as soon as you can. Now, of course, this is not financial advice. You need to make your own decisions. You know, purchasing a house is usually one of the largest things that most people will ever do. So it's not something to be taken lightly. But the thing is, if we look at a chart of the past, 20, 30, 50 years, what we're seeing is that house prices continue to rise way faster than what wages do. So eventually we're going to get to a point where it's going to be just a nation of renters here in Australia. And that's exactly what we've seen in other parts of the world. You know, if we look at Hong Kong and other places where property is really expensive, what we're seeing is that the rate of people renting is just so much higher. And this is a trend that is going to continue in Australia. It's a trend that we've seen in America. So how do you avoid this? You know, there's a couple of ways to do it. Obviously, you can earn a ton of money, and sometimes that can be very difficult for people, especially given in this certain circumstance. I know for myself, the government has prevented me from doing my job. So there's no way for me to actually earn an income unless I find a different path. And a lot of people are on that same thing. And so it's not always easier just to earn more money. I totally get that. Who knows, it might be a little bit easier once we open up a bit more and people are a bit more free. But the thing is, it can be quite difficult for more people. So you've got to get into the property market in any way, which shape or form. You know, if you can at least get something, it's going to kind of lock you in with that growth that will continue. And don't get me wrong, it will continue. There's a lot of people that are basically claiming doom and gloom that, there's going to be a housing crash. It's just not going to happen. I'll tell you why. Even with lockdowns, it is still boom time for property. The government shut down the construction industry. So what that means is that there's so much less supply that is getting built. So with less supply, more people bidding for properties, then you're going to create an even further drag. There's going to be a mismatch between those two even more. Nationally, values in July were up 1.6% in the month. And chances are in August, that's going to continue. We're going to see a rise again, even knowing we're in lockdown. So if you extrapolate that July figure out, that's, that's like 19% in a year. So, and we're probably not going to continue to see that growth, but housing prices are going to go up because due to these lockdowns, we're probably going to go back in a recession. It's really that simple. And that means that interest rates are going to stay low for longer. So that means that money is going to continue to be cheap. More people are going to be able to buy into properties. And that means that the value is going to go up because the loans are very serviceable at this level. And I mean, the most amazing thing is that the immigration tap has still not been turned on. The borders have been shut, basically. Even knowing we have some people that are coming in, they're basically shut to tourists and anyone that wants to come to Australia or move to Australia beyond some pretty extreme circumstances. So we've seen all of this massive growth and we haven't even got the immigration tap turned on. So what do you think is going to happen to property prices when that turns back on? Obviously, it's going to go up. There's going to be even more demand for property. So you have to think to yourself, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, is there going to be less demand for properties or is there going to be more demand for properties? I mean, it's pretty obvious which one it is. So it's not something that you can kind of forget about and maybe come back to later because the prices are going up so fast that a lot of people are going to be permanently locked out. And that is the sad reality. That is going to be the case for a lot of people that don't take advantage of this incredibly low interest rate environment. So a lot of economists predict that housing is going to continue to rise through 2021 to the end of the year. And then, of course, in 2022 also. So a lot of people are claiming doom and gloom. Not all sectors of the economy are doing poorly. In fact, a lot are doing really well out of lockdown. So you need to keep that in mind. So some industries are absolutely screwed, like my own, but some are not. And of course, a lot of the wealth in this country doesn't come down to income. A lot of the wealth in this country comes down to the assets that you hold. Recently, I did a video talking about my income and also about the assets that I hold and how I earned $500,000 this last year. Half of that was from my income, but the other half was from asset appreciation over the course of the year. Now, of course, it's been a pretty crazy last 12 months as far as assets go, but it just really goes to show the importance of assets and what they can do for your portfolio and your wealth. A lot of people that are buying houses are doing cash out refinances on their properties that have appreciated in value to get more properties. So that's something to keep in mind. So I just want to make this video because I think it's really important that people really take notice of this and take stock of whether you want to be renting for the rest of your life or you want to own a house. Now, some people like to rent. That's fantastic. Oftentimes it can be really good so you can increase your borrowing power to do more investing in other properties. But of course, you know, if your goal is to own a home, then it's something you really have to watch. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. It really helps get these videos out to more people. So my name is Seeney. This is the Australian Wealth Channel, and we'll see you later.